Welcome back to this Football Manager 2019 Tactics Experiment series. It is the 8th video of the series. I recorded the previous 7 live at Sports Interactive headquarters, and although I've recorded the footage for the last 3 videos in this series, I haven't recorded the audio, so I'm recording this back at home, which is why the audio is much better than on the 7 previous videos. There's no creators making a racket in the background. It's also given me the chance to reflect on those first 7 videos, on those first 7 tactics. It's quite obvious that they're very stable tactics. Sports Interactive have created them, I suppose, for newcomers to the game. It gives you a solid base. You're not going to get thrashed 5-0 or win 5-0 unless you have a really good team up against a weaker team, I suppose. But if you've got 2 similar teams, they're going to balance it out quite well. Not many chances created, not many chances conceded. That's what we saw in the first 7 videos anyway. But today we're going to focus on the direct counter-attack tactic. So as you can see, I've gone with the suggested 4-4-2. The direct counter-attack, the clue is in the name, it's very counter-attacking, it's very direct. It's different to the fluid counter-attack, which was all about short passing, moving up the pitch quickly, but with that short passing approach. This obviously has a more direct passing approach. We've got the function for playing for set pieces as well, trying to win corners and that sort of thing. It does have a higher tempo, but it's not really high, slightly higher tempo. And as with any counter-attack tactic, you need to distribute quickly. When you're out of possession, we've got a lower defensive line, so we're going quite deep, absorbing the pressure and then hitting them on the break. So just like the 7 previous tactical experiment videos, we are taking on Dortmund on the first day of the Bundesliga season, just so we can compare like for like. I've got my assistant to take control of things just like before. We're not testing my managerial ability, we're just taking a look at the tactic and seeing how many chances are created and that sort of thing. So this was the first highlight of the game, 2 minutes in. I've got it on extended highlights. We can see as many highlights as possible in action with this tactic. So we've won the ball back, meaning we can now have that direct counter approach. And Okolo's running at the defence. Look at him go. What a run. Crossing it in for Gonzalez. It's knocked out wide to Gentner. Tommy hit it, but he hit it over the bar. That was a chance, I think. Was it a half chance or clear-cut chance? Possibly not. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have a look in a second as to whether it was or not. It wasn't actually a chance, strangely enough. But then, corner off the post. So the first time hitting the woodwork in the game. Unlucky. Corner from the other side then, whipped in with pace, but the keeper did really well there to catch that. We obviously got it in 2D. I can't see if it was a really good catch or not, but it looked like a good catch. And at this point, dominating. 2 shots. Well, not dominating possession for sure, but Witsel came up from the corner and scored from their first attempt on goal, the first half chance of the game. Witsel has scored quite a few goals in these experiment tactics videos actually. So 1-0 down, and obviously with that cautious approach now, we're relying on Dortmund continuing to attack so we can hit them on the break. That was another half chance for Dortmund. So this tactic is conceding half chances. Dortmund then started to pass it around, take control of the ball, just the midfield trio, just easy for them. And Pulisic down the line here, crossed it in, but we managed to block it. And then was hoping to counter, but unfortunately we didn't. Royce has got injured a few times actually, little orange injuries. It just shows how injury prone he is on the game. Now remember, I wasn't doing any shouts myself, I wasn't doing any tweaks to the tactics. It's all about my assistant taking control really. I make the subs when required, but we're just leaving this as the vanilla preset tactic, no changes. We're testing the tactic, remember, in its most basic form. If I'd had more time at Sports Interactive, then it would have been great to do this more than once for each tactic. Possibly try different teams as well, but obviously I had a limited amount of time. So this was the best I could do. I just wanted to show you really the 10 new tactical systems, which I think is a really cool idea. Like I've said, it's really good for newcomers to the game. Got my assistant to do that. And then we got underway with the second half. So pretty boring once again. 2 shots to us, 3 to them. We haven't created a single chance of clear cut or half chance variety. Possession wise, they were dominating. We'll look at the pass statistics at the end, but I'm sure they've passed the ball around hundreds of times and we've passed it around 200-300 times. Similar to what we've seen with sort of those more defensive tactics we've had in this series so far. Tiki-taka was obviously the other extreme. So many passes. And for some reason, we didn't have a highlight until the 71st minute. Corner to Dortmund, nodded away. Royce picked it up. Guerrero now on the ball, looking to put it in. If we can win it back, then we've got a chance to counter, but we just weren't winning it back enough. And then because of our direct approach, we were hitting it long and no one was running onto it. And it just didn't seem to work quite as well as the fluid counter-attack. That was much better to watch. More modern counter-attack approach, I suppose. This was just a little bit old school, pump it up the pitch as soon as we get it. A bit like, in fact, playing at school, primary school. Made a couple changes, but it just hasn't happened. This is honestly probably the most boring one yet, in a strange way. I thought it would be slightly more exciting. Dortmund would attack, would hit them on the break. Maybe it might be the personnel. We don't have the right players to fit this system. That is another flaw with this way of doing things, of course. My main reasoning for doing these videos was to try and show the preset tactics, but we haven't seen much of this one. You might want to avoid it. You might want to try and play around with it. Let me know if you use any of the preset tactics or adapt any of the preset tactics. Let me know what works best for you. You might even be able to get the best out of one of these. Control possession was quite good. Gegenpressing was quite good in its truest form without having to adapt it. But this has been really awful. No chances created. We've increased the possession a little bit. I suppose 39%. But 2 shots in the entire game. And they were both in like the first 5 minutes as well. What a weird game. We completed only 70% of our passes. That's to be expected. But Dortmund only created 83% of theirs. So our style of play obviously frustrated them a bit. They weren't passing it around in the middle quite the same. They only had 5 shots. They scored that 1 goal from a corner. So you could perhaps disregard that if you do something to the corners, defensive corners. This is a tactic maybe if you want to get like a 0-0. Essentially, possibly you might be able to score from a corner, or they might score from a corner, but overall, truly terrible. It really was. And look at that. I mean, we actually attempted 406 passes to their 655, so it's not too bad. But our average rating was poor, 6.6 compared to their 6.96. Both teams pretty average, but this tactic, I think that's the key word for this tactic, average. If you want just an average tactic that doesn't do much but enables you to get a point, then this might be the one for you. This might be the one to build from as well, to try and create a solid base. But thank you for watching this 8th tactical experiment video. There's 2 more to go, so I hope you're looking forward to those. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It'd be very much appreciated. I will be bringing other types of experiments to the channel soon. Obviously, I've focused on these tactics experiment videos whilst I had access to the alpha at Sports Interactive headquarters, but I'll be moving on across to other stuff when the beta comes out and when the full games comes out on the 2nd of November. Until next time, enjoy Football Manager, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.